Little Wiz, I know how excited you are as we explore and learn the power of Science 6. Hang on tight, Little Wiz, and we will be answering your what, why, and how questions. I am your teacher, Sir Kevin. In Science 6, we can solve the mystics. Hey, have you eaten your breakfast? This is my breakfast today. Can you name the foods I will be serving? Do you know that these are examples of mixtures, but aren't the same, right? Before we start, let us have some experiment time! Yes, the foods we eat or drink or anything that had been mixed together, may it be solution, suspension, or colloids. A solution is a homogeneous mixture of one or more solids dissolved in a solvent. A solute is a material present in a smaller amount in the solution, while the solvent is a material present in the larger amount in the solution. Did you know?
Water is called the universal solvent because it solves more substances than any other.
There are solutes that can be dissolved in solvent, and it is called soluble. However, there are also substances that cannot be dissolved in solvent, and it is called insoluble. Based from the previous experiment, what activity shows a solution? That's right! In activity 1, shows a solution because the added solute dissolved in water or the solvent. Also, it scatters light when you direct the flashlight at the bottle where you mix the materials. Did you know that solution may exist in solid, liquid, or gas?
This depends on the state of each solvent. Steel is a solid solution. Its solvent is iron and the solute is carbon. Vinegar is formed from acetic acid and water, which is an example of a liquid solution. Air is an example of a gaseous solution. Its solvent is nitrogen gas because it is the most abundant gas in the atmosphere. Remember, even if it is made of different phases, the result comes out to be single phase. It is a solution. The solution particles cannot be seen by our naked eye. This can be separated by filtration.
So, in order to form a solution, we need a solute that would completely dissolve in a solvent. Also, in a solution, we have a concept of miscibility, in which a property of two substances mix in all proportions, meaning it is formed when two soluble liquids dissolve each other. An example of it is an alcohol. We also call a solution immiscible when two liquids cannot dissolve or insoluble to each other. Example is oil and water. Hey, I have with me Karen, the talking computer. I'm sorry, Plankton, I borrowed your girlfriend. She has something to add.
A concentrated solution contains a large amount of dissolved solute. A darker juice means it has more amount of solute, while dilute solution contains a small amount of dissolved solute. This is a picture of a dilute solution.
Solubility is the maximum amount of a solute substance that will dissolve in a given amount of solvent at a specific temperature. There are different factors that affect solubility. Nature of solute and solvent, temperature of solvent, manner of stirring, amount of solvent, and size of the solute.
When a solid does not dissolve in a liquid, a suspension is formed. A suspension is a mixture in which insoluble particles are suspended in a liquid or gas. So, based from the activities done previously, which of them had suspended? That's right. The second activity is an example of suspension because the chalk powder is very little soluble in water. After standing, the particles settle down at the bottom of the container. They may either scatter light or be opaque.
Is a heterogeneous mixture where visible particles can be seen to the naked eye, as it settles down at the bottom or float on top when left undisturbed. Cloudy appearance appears when two materials were mixed.
A colloid is a heterogeneous mixture whose particle size is intermediate between those of a solution and a suspension. The dispersed particles are spread evenly throughout the dispersion medium, which can be a solid, liquid, or gas.
Colloids are unlike solutions because their dispersed particles are much larger than those of a solution. The dispersed particles of a colloid cannot be separated by filtration, but they scatter light, a phenomenon called Tyndale Effect.
Did our activity 3 show Tyndale Effect?
When light is passed through a true solution, the dissolved particles are too small to deflect the light. However, the dispersed particles of a colloid, being larger, do deflect light. The Tyndale effect is the scattering of visible light by colloidal particles.
Colloids are one of the primary types of mixtures. It is a type of mixture in which solid or liquid particles are dispersed uniformly throughout a gas, liquid, or solid. Colloid particles may be seen in a beam of light, such as dust in the air and a shaft of sunlight. Blood, whipped cream, and fog are examples of colloids. To be classified as colloid, the substance in dispersed phase must be larger than the size of the molecule but smaller than what can be seen with the naked eye. Number 1. Sol is a colloidal suspension with solid particles in a liquid. Examples are gelatin and blood. Number 2. Emulsion, formed between two liquids. Examples are milk and mayonnaise. Number 3. Foam is formed when many gas particles are trapped in a liquid. Examples are beaten egg white and whipped cream. Number 4. Aerosol contains small particles of liquid or solid dispersed in a gas. Types of aerosol. Number 1. Liquid aerosol. Liquid dispersed in a gas. Examples, fog and clouds. Number 2. Solid aerosol. Solid dispersed in a gas. Examples, smog and dust in the air.